What's going on, guys? Tony here. So in this video I want to talk about the 3 key factors to success for both OTs, PTs, and even SLPs in 2021. If you guys have watched any of my other videos, you know I'm a huge advocate of bringing the same thing to ourselves as we bring to our patients. Strength, independence, resilience, security. But the difference is, as therapists, we tend to let those things go by the wayside. We don't focus on it. So how can you, either as a seasoned therapist or as a new grad, bring strength, resilience, independence to yourself, right? How do you bring financial independence? How do you bring resilience? When COVID hit back in 2020, were you able to sustain your lifestyle without maybe going to work, being laid off? What other things were you able to do? So let's talk about the top 3, what I think are the key factors in finding success in 2001. First, just like with our patients, we want to build that kind of redundancy. So if somebody sustains an injury, I always say, like, I can never prevent a fall. People will fall. I fall every year. But what my job isn't so much to prevent the fall, is to build tolerance in the body so the body can handle the fall. So if you get laid off, if you get whatever, fired, sued, injured, do you have the financial resilience to handle that kind of injury? I believe everybody should have in their back pocket the ability to treat Medicare beneficiaries. Whether they do or not is their choice, but I think they should have the ability, the knowledge to do it. And so getting contracted with Medicare as a Part B provider, providing services in the patient's home. It's something that's free. It's something that could be done in a couple weeks. And it's something that I think gives you that financial independence that we all want, so that if something was to happen to our cash flow or income as an employed therapist, we have something to fall back on, right? Therapists are conservative by nature. So having something like this, I think, is very important, not just to building your confidence, but to also adding cash flow. So if you have the occasional Medicare beneficiary who wants to work with you, you can treat that individual in the patient's home under your Medicare Part B contract. The other component of this is when you're going out looking for a job. So just imagine for a moment, whether you're a new grad or a therapist that's been working in a facility that doesn't require you to have a Medicare Part B provider number. As an employer myself, if I have 2 resumes sitting in front of me, one is already contracted with Medicare and the other is not, I can tell you that if all things are equal, I'm going to go with the one that's already contracted. Because as an outpatient provider, I have to have my clinical staff contract with Medicare. So they're halfway there. All I have to do is the reassignment as opposed to doing the complete enrollment. So that gives you a competitive advantage as a seasoned therapist looking for new employment. That also gives you a competitive advantage as a new grad looking to secure that first job. You know, if there's a 2021 graduating class and everybody is generally the same level, if you come out and you already have your Medicare contract in place, you already have your provider number in place, even just understanding the terminology puts you ahead of the rest, because now you can literally start treating patients day one. There's much less work, a lower barrier to entry for you getting a job or just going out on your own. The second key factor, I think, is understanding the value, not of you, not of your time, but the value you bring to the organization. So if you're joining a clinic, an organization that's primarily Medicare caseload, then you want to understand, well, what's the Medicare allowed amount? What's the fee schedule? What kind of production am I bringing in? What's the value of the units that I am producing as an employee? This way you can go in with rationale to say, hey, I believe I'm worth this much because I'm producing this much, right? And so if you don't understand Medicare reimbursement, I will do my best to put a video up here showing you how to go to the Medicare fee schedule for your state, for your local MAC, and create some estimates, some guidelines on what your time is worth. But then you can also look up Medicaid reimbursement for your state, and you can probably look up workers' comp reimbursement for your state. So workers' comp is going to reimburse the highest, Medicare the middle, Medicaid the lowest. The commercial plans are going to be somewhere in between. But the idea is now you're walking into an employer to say, hey, I'm going to give you 40 hours a week. I can probably produce this many units per hour. Based on average reimbursement, I know that if you're more workers' comp based, this is what I'm going to produce. If you're more Medicaid based, this is what I'm going to produce. And I can do something in the middle. You know, but just having those numbers puts power on your side, gives you the authority to say, this is what I can do, and this is why I believe I'm worth what I'm asking. It's just a completely different conversation than somebody just walking into an interview completely blind to the numbers. And then, of course, finally, you know, the third key component to success in 2021 is versatility. It's being able to change rapidly. The biggest competitive advantage an individual has or a small provider has is agility. Change direction. So when COVID hit, we went straight to telehealth. When things started to change with Medicare regulation, we adapted. Like, I can change a policy instantly because I'm versatile, I'm agile. I don't have a team of 1,000 staff that I need to retrain and re-educate, and a culture that is resistant to change. You as an individual, that is one of your competitive advantages, that you can change and adapt so quickly, and especially if you understand reimbursement, and especially if you have your own independent Medicare contract. So think about those things. Think about what it is that we want for our patients: strength, resilience, independence, the ability to handle injury. That's what we want for ourselves. And I just hope that this channel helps you get a little bit closer to achieving that goal. Guys, as always, I appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next video.